once dated a guy when I didn't know my worth, who said my face isn't that pretty, but my credit might work. I once dated this guy when I didn't know my worth, who told me to be patient. I was second in line. Don't worry, the first one might not work. I even dated this guy when I didn't know my worth. He had an additional family, secret lies, and dirt. I decided to date this guy when I didn't value my own worth. And because of my fear of being alone, I just settled with his cruel words and convinced myself, words don't hurt. I once dated this guy when I didn't know my worth, that when I said no regarding my body, he held my hands down and said, shh, be quiet. This won't hurt. I once dated a guy when I didn't know my worth, that I was willing to compromise my faith, value, and good judgment and just pray, please, let this relationship work. I once was a girl, but now I'm a woman that still does not know her worth. And the decisions that you see were a direct result of the thoughts that I had of me. I was on this tedious, long journey, and I didn't even know that I was lost. And because of it, my self-esteem, my self-love, and my confidence paid the cost. I was living in the shadow, and I didn't even know that there could be light. Until one day, I found myself. I found myself to be beautiful. I found myself to have joy. I found myself to have a voice. I found myself in the will of God, but most importantly, I found me. And I gained the best gift that one could have and celebrate all year long. The gift of self-love. So I speak to the little girl. I speak to the grown woman that does not know her worth. Remember, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You keep saying that until your mind believes it. You keep saying that until your heart receives it. And you keep saying that until your life reflects it. That was my truth. I wrote that poem when I turned 38 years old. I'll never forget that. It's like my freedom speech, right? Have you ever lived in shame? Struggled with feeling unworthy? Seeking validation from others? Maybe you just worried about what people would think of you. You see, I could answer yes to every last one of those questions. Maybe you can't relate to losing your voice in the search of some man's arms, or seeking validation and to fill your void of loneliness through others. But I could. But tell me this, what happens when they no longer clap for you? What happens when they no longer feel the quest that you seek, which is just to be loved, heard, seen, or appreciated? I'll tell you, if you live for their applause, you'll die by their silence. I know, because I speak from a place of experience. I lived my life committed to gaining the approval of others. Even at the thought of losing my own identity, my own voice, it took me 38 years to arrive to my aha moment. That's why I stand here and speak my truth. That's why I share my story. Because if I can just help one person break free of the bondage, then I have changed a legacy, theirs, and they're worth it. You're worth it. So if you're hearing this message today and it resonates with you, repeat after me. Say, I'm worth it. Worthy is my name. Sometimes we have to rely on the strength of others as we're building that muscle on our own. I'm worth it. No matter my past, no matter my imperfections, no matter my mistakes, even if I allowed the past mistreatment, I decided my only option was forward. And please note, it wasn't based on how I felt. It wasn't even based on me knowing the end results. Because if I based it on how I felt or knowing all the answers, I would still be in my abyss of, I'm not good enough. Let me tell you what I did. I just embraced the courage to first decide. I finally got into the space where I was no longer a voiceless victim, but I became a victorious advocate, advocating for my right to simply exist and not based on anyone else's approval but my own, reclaiming my worth by sharing my voice, my truth. I started taking responsibility to changing the narrative of my own story. You know what? Releasing the past because I couldn't control it, but directing that which I could. And by doing that, I put myself in a space to embrace the love that was waiting for me and the help that was waiting to guide me to my best yes, the best version of my yes. Yes, that happened to me. However, I'm still thriving. Yes, I've been misunderstood. However, I'm still whole. Yes, I did say that. However, now my language matches my worth. I am loving the woman I am. As I'm working on the woman I'm yet to become, I'm loving the woman I am. As I'm working on the woman I'm yet to become. No longer looking for the light at the end of the tunnel, realizing that the light is within me. That sounds great, right? So what I want to do now is share with you 3 steps that I took that I know that you can take too to get to this space called worthy. The first step is I decided. And I decided to act. And ACT is an acronym that stands for Action Changes Things. As you act, so shall you be. Don't allow your fear to direct your decisions, but allow your action to diminish your fears, right? We no longer can do the things of the past when we are moving forward. Action changes things. Every day we are going to act. And what are we going to do? We are going to say, I'm worthy. Worthy is my name. And as you're saying that, I need you to visualize it. What does worthy look like for me? How do I show up as worthy? What does it feel like? I need you to become the embodiment of worthy. You directed, you created. It's your destination. I am worthy every single day. You say it. You believe it. You become it. That's step 1. Step 2, we're going to change our narrative, what we think and what we write. Why? Because it needs to serve our place called worthy. We have to actually write it down. It's so important that we track what we say. Why? Because if we don't track it, we can't address it. And we have to address it because you're necessary, right? Right. We cannot change what we have learned to tolerate. And you are necessary. And so when we track it, what can we do then? We can look at it, and we can address it. Is it true? Is it kind? And is it necessary? And if not, guess what? We must acquit. We have to dismiss it, right? And if you find out, you know what, this is true, then you need to say it in a way that honors your place called worthy. And how do you do that? You rewrite it. Rewrite it in a way that serves you, that honors you. And then we're going to take this action one step forward. We're going to record it as well. Why? I had to do this because I spent 20 plus years hearing my voice dishonor my very existence. I was used to hearing myself say, "You're nothing. You can't do this. You're not worthy." I had to get used to myself in this place called worthy. And my new voice is loving, kind, and considerate. So we have to record our rewrites, okay? So that when things come to us, we can quickly play that and aggressively address those things that no longer serve us. So step 1, act. Step 2, we're gonna write. Now we are at step 3. We're gonna take the pledge. However, before we go into the pledge, I want to share with you that there will come a time, you'll have moments when negative talk will come to you. But I want to tell you to move forward anyway. I want to remind you to remember step 1, decide to move, right? Decide to act. And be mindful. Negative talk does not discriminate. It doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care about your background. It doesn't care that you're taking these 3 steps. Negative talk will come for you, right? And when negative talk comes for you, I need you to ask it one question. Ask it, who sent you? No, really, ask it, who sent you? Did my childhood trauma send you? Did what my mama say to me send you? Did what my boss say to me send you? Did my abusive partner send you? Who sent you? I need to know who sent you so that I can deal with it. I have invested too much time emotionally, spiritually into this thought, into this action. And in order for me to change and deal with it, I need to know who sent you. Ask it, who sent you? We're not going to fake it till we make it. We're going to address it so we no longer regress in it by asking who sent you. Okay, now we understand that. We understand that we can have a moment, but the difference is we will no longer cultivate that moment as our reality. So now we're ready to take our pledge. And what is a pledge? It's a promise, a commitment, a vow, an oath. We're all familiar with pledges. Man, we've been taking pledges since we were little. If you've ever been in a Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, we take a pledge. If you've been in the military, we take an oath to serve our country. If you get married, we take a pledge for richer, for poorer, for better or worse. Now I'm asking you to take a pledge with the person that you will be with until death literally do you part. You're never gonna leave you. So you might as well learn to like, love, and appreciate this person. So the pledge is simple. The pledge is, I'm worthy. Worthy is my name, not because of, not in spite of. I'm worthy. And I pledge to treat myself as such. That's it. Today is your day. And remember the 3 steps. Make a decision today to act. Action changes things. 2, change the narrative of our thoughts and our words. 3, take the pledge. I'm worthy, and I pledge to treat myself as such. And in closing, I want you to grab a mirror. And as you're taking the pledge, I want you to look at yourself. And as you're making the promise, and as you're saying, I'm worthy, and as you're saying, I have decided to act, action changes things. Action changes things. Action changes things. what you will really realize is that action changes me. And as I stated at the beginning of the talk in my poem, you keep saying that until your mind believes it. You keep saying that until your heart receives it. And you keep saying that until your life reflects it. 'Cause worthy is your name.